Here's the latest update on Tropical Storm Gustav from NorthEscambia.com. Gustav is located near latitude 18.1 north, longitude 76.6 west. That's about 15 miles east-northeast of Kingston, Jamaica, about 310 miles east-southeast of the Grand Cayman Islands. Those numbers, once again, if you're tracking it, latitude 18.1 north, longitude 76.6 west. Gustav is moving towards the west near 6 miles per hour. A turn towards the west, northwest, and the northwest is forecast in the next couple days. On this track, the center of Gustav will cross Jamaica tonight and move near or over the Cayman Islands on Friday or Friday night. You can see down the tracking chart here, Gustav continuing by 2 o'clock Saturday afternoon to be approaching the western tip of Cuba as a Category 2 storm, according to the Hurricane Center, with winds of 96 to 110 miles an hour as it goes over Cuba. By this middle of Sunday afternoon, about 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon, Gustav expected to be a Category 3 hurricane in the central Gulf of Mexico. Winds 111 to 130 miles an hour. They're actually calling for about 120 miles an hour when it reaches this point here on the tracking map. Continuing on up by 2 o'clock Monday afternoon, approaching the Louisiana coast just south of New Orleans. Still is a Category 3 storm, winds about 120 miles an hour, and going inland sometime by Tuesday afternoon as a Category 2 storm once it begins to weaken in the interior of Louisiana. Taking a look at the spaghetti models, these are the forecast models by various computers around the country, around the world for that matter, that the Hurricane Center uses to come up with their forecast. You'll see that most are agreeing on a central Louisiana landfall coming up here on Monday, but you'll notice one line headed towards the Alabama-Mississippi line. That line there near the Alabama-Mississippi border, that is the GFDL model, a model that is traditionally very good at predicting Gulf of Mexico hurricanes. Therefore, the National Hurricane Center is not discounting the fact that the current track could change and shift towards the east, more towards Mississippi or even Alabama later in the period. It's extremely important that you continue to check here on NorthEscambia.com and other local media and find out the very latest on Tropical Storm Gustav, which will soon be Hurricane Gustav in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's another look at those spaghetti models. You'll see most of them, these are more models, most of them pointing towards Louisiana, except for that GFDL. Still thinking that it's going to head towards the Alabama-Mississippi border on Monday, so we'll have to keep an eyeball on this one. As far as the chances of tropical storm wind, that's what you're looking at here. The closer you get to the magenta, the orange, and the yellow are the chances of tropical storm winds greater than 39 miles per hour coming up. You'll notice that other area over there to the right-hand side, that's not Gustav, that's Tropical Storm Hannah moving out of the Atlantic Ocean. It's going to be making landfall on the heels of Tropical Storm Gustav, or what will be Hurricane Gustav, probably on the U.S. East Coast if forecasters are correct. Look at this map here. This shows you how far out the hurricane and tropical storm force winds extend from the center of Gustav in a predicted pattern here. This is predicting a Tuesday landfall with winds around 98 miles per hour, gusts of 120. You'll see Mobile, Pensacola in the light blue. That indicates winds of up to about 39 miles per hour expected in the area if Gustav should make landfall at the strength and location that's currently being forecast by the National Hurricane Center. And finally, here's a look at Gustav on the satellite this afternoon. You'll see it's beginning to look a little bit more like a hurricane. A tad earlier today, it was looking more ragged and less like a hurricane, but looks like it's getting its act together as it crosses the island of Jamaica. When it hits the warm waters off Jamaica, and certainly when it hits the Gulf of Mexico, you can expect Gustav to become a very formidable storm. What does it mean for us here in North Escambia? It means that you need to catch NorthEscambia.com as often as you possibly can. We're updating throughout the day with the very latest from the National Hurricane Center. Also check your local media, local television, radio, that sort of thing, and make sure you keep abreast. In the meantime, it's time to make preparations. Preparations are not panic. It's time to prepare. Make sure you've got the water on hand. Make sure maybe perhaps a little extra gas for the generators, and make sure you go ahead and get the loose debris out of your yard while the weather's good. In the meantime, check in again with us. We'll keep you updated here on NorthEscambia.com on the very latest on Tropical Storm, soon to be Hurricane Gustav. Thanks for joining us on NorthEscambia.com.